Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about laboratory apparatus. Previous class we already discussed about volumetric flask, um, pipettes, flask, and different types of pipettes, different types of flask we already discussed. And today is a continuous class about laboratory apparatus. These glasswares are mainly made up of complex silicates containing boron dioxide, and it is resistant to corrosive of acids, alkali, and temperature radiation. And these glasswares are produced from soda lime type of glass. It doesn't fit the above requirements, and it's easily broken by mechanical stress produced by the sudden change of temperature. Today we are discussing remaining types of glasswares, and first one is cylinders. Measuring cylinders are narrow straight side vessels that are used to measure specific volumes, and they are available in different sizes 10 ml to several liters, and it's commonly used for preparation of reagents, and it is high degree of accuracy is impossible because of wide bore of the cylinders. This is the disadvantage of cylinders. It is high degree of accuracy is impossible because of wide bore of the cylinders. And here upper meniscus is considered for the colored solutions, and lower meniscus is considered for the colorless solutions. And this is the cylinder, measuring cylinder. Next, beakers. Beakers have different sizes 5 to 5000 ml, and they are usually made up of heat resistant glass and are available in different sizes. And it most commonly used in square form, which is cylindrical and has pot. And this is also tall form, usually without a spout, and beakers are supplied for heating or boiling for solutions. It's mainly used for the heating or boiling of solutions. And these are the beakers, different types of beakers 5 to 5000 ml. Next is burettes, and this is the burette. This is the burette, and burettes are used for measuring different quantities of liquid that are used in titration, volumetric titrations, and they are made in different sizes 1 to 100 milliliters, and these are long graduated tubes of uniform bore and closed at the lower end by the means of glass stopper. This is glass stopper, and this is the long graduated tube, and which should be tightly greased for smooth rotation. It's mainly used for the measuring of quantitative of liquids. And this is the burettes. And next one is bottles. Different types of bottles are there. One is reagent bottles. It's available in 5 ml to 5000 ml capacity, and it is made from glass or plastic. Reagent bottles are used to store different types of reagents. Next, screw capped bottles. It's available in 5 ml to 1000 ml capacities, and it is round or flat. It is used to store the hygroscopic reagents. And next one is drop bottles. It's used for delivery of drops of solutions. These are the different types of bottles: reagent bottles, screw capped bottles, and drop bottles. And this is the wash bottles. Wash bottles are used for to rinse solids from other equipment when trying to conserve the solid. This is the wash bottles, and this is the different types of reagent bottles or screw capped bottles. Next is funnels. Two types of funnels are there. Two types of funnels are used in medical laboratory. First one is filter funnels and separating funnels. These filter funnels are used for pouring liquids into narrow mouthed containers, and it's used for supporting filter papers during filtration. And it can be made from glass or plastic materials. Then separating funnels means it's used for separating the immiscible liquids of different types of densities, for example ether and water. These are the different types of funnels and uses. First is filter funnels and separating funnels. Filter funnels are used for pouring liquids into narrow mouthed containers with the help of filter papers during filtration. Then separating funnels are used for separating immiscible liquids. And these are the different types of funnels. Next is Petri dishes. Petri dishes are flat glass or plastic containers which have number of uses in the medical laboratory, mainly in microbiology. They are used predominantly for the cultivation of organisms on the solid media. It made with diameters of 5 to 14 centimeters, and it is used to isolate and identify and study the characteristics of microorganisms. It essentially to grow them on artificial media, and it's used in routine bacteriology. The most important requirement of culture media is ability to allow detectable growth from minute inoculum within a short period of incubation. It's mainly used for the isolate or identify and study the characteristics of microorganisms to grow on the artificial media. And these are the different types of petri dishes. Next is tubes. Tubes is based on the experiment. Different types of tubes are used in clinical laboratory. Different types of tubes are there. First is test tubes, centrifuge tubes and Fallon tubes. Test tubes are uniform thickness and withstand mechanical and thermal shocks. Tubes with rim are preferred when reagent in a tube is directly heat on the flame with the help of test tube holder. Then centrifuge tubes are, these are graduated or plain, available in conical shape, and it's used in the centrifugation. Then Fallon tubes, these tubes are mainly used for the determination of blood glucose levels by the Fallon methods. These are the different types of tubes: test tubes, centrifuge tubes and Fallon tubes. These are the tubes, test tubes. And next is condensers. Condensers are mainly used for the distillation and for reflux the operations. Then desiccators. This is the desiccator, and this is available in different sizes. Chemicals like sulfuric acid, phosphorus pentoxide, calcium chloride and silica gel can be used as desiccants, and it's used to desiccate chemicals and used for the preparation of accurate normal solutions and standards. and this is the desiccate and used to chemicals for preparation of egg grade normal solutions and standards. Next one is the test tube racks. These test tube racks are for holding and organizing the test tubes on the laboratory, and plastic racks may be melt in contact with very hot test tubes. Next is the tripod stand. This is the tripod stand and this is used to support glassware such as beakers and flask, especially when heating substances. And this is the wire gauge. Wire gauge sit on the tripod stand and to provide the place to stand a beaker. This is the wire gauge and this is the tripod stand. This wire gauge is put on the tripod stand to provide a stand to beaker. Next is Bunsen burner. These Bunsen burners are used for the heating of non-volatile liquids and solids. Next is spatula. This is the spatula and this is used to transfer the solid chemicals. And never insert spatula directly into reagent bottles. It will get any contaminations. Next is dispensers. These dispensers are to indicate the device which perform the same function as pipette to deliver the volume of fluid such as serum, other body fluids, reagents or other organic solvents. This is the dispenser. It's used to deliver the different types of fluids such as serum, other body fluids or aqueous reagents or organic solvents. Next is cuvettes. Different types of cuvettes are there. Cuvettes can be glass cuvettes or plastic cuvettes, and these cuvettes, glass cuvettes resistant many laboratory reagents like organic solvents, whereas plastic cuvettes are affected by many reagents and become cloudy. So it affecting the absorptions of reactive mixtures and due to the lack of accuracy and precision. Therefore, plastic cuvettes are whenever used, it should be cleaned immediately. If the cuvettes turn to cloudy, it should not be used for any analytical procedures. Whenever you used, it should be cleaned immediately, and so it should not be used for any analytical procedures. So any scratch or white spot on the glass cuvettes, it can't be washed out with any solvent. Therefore, it disturbs absorbance of given solution. So such cuvettes should be discarded. These are the different types of cuvettes. Mainly we are using the measuring of quantitative methods in photometry. Glass cuvettes are used for photometry. Absorption cells must be absolutely clean and optical surfaces should not be touched. As soon as possible after the use, absorption cells should be rinsed and soaked in distilled water. When cleaning cells, mild detergent should be used. When drying the cuvettes, high temperatures and unclean air should be avoided. Low to medium temperature are used not to exceed the 100 degrees Celsius or vacuum or combination of these. The two can be used to rapidly dry cuvettes. We are dried in 100 degrees Celsius or vacuum or combination of two can be used to rapidly dry cuvettes. And next one is care and maintenance of glass vase. First one is heating and cooling. When glass vase unattended, when heating work is being carried out, the vessels may crack when dryness condition approaches, and don't place hot glass vase on the damp surface. So cool the hot glass vase slowly to prevent the thermal breakage. Then use anti-bumping means boiling the stone devices in the vessel such as powdered pumice or glass wool when rapid heating is required. And heat all liquids are slowly, and always use metal gauge or water bath to diffuse the heat. This is the how to heating or cooling the glass vase. First, vessels may crack when dryness condition it should be approaches, and don't place hot glass vase on the damp surface, and glass vase should be cool slowly to prevent the thermal breakages. Next is mixing and stirring. Mixing the solutions or reagents. Always add acids to the water with constant stirring when concentrated acids are diluted. Don't never mix concentrated sulfuric acid and water inside a glass cylinder. First adds acids to the water. So heat of dissolution can break the base of the cylinder. Use the ice when alkalis like sodium hydroxide are added to the water in large quantities. Then this can prevent the breakage of glassware by heating of this solution. And this is the mixing and stirring of solutions. Next, the cleaning of glass vase. How to clean the glass vase? First, soak new glass vase for several hours in 1% hydrochloric acid. Since new glass vase are slightly alkali in reaction, which could affect the test results. So first we new glasses soak in several hours in 1% hydrochloric acid, and soak glass vase in tap water or detergent immediately after use. When using cleaning acids, for example, brushes are these are in good condition. So the use of worn out brushes will lead to serious abrading of the glass vase. So brushes should be clean. When glass vase has been contaminated with material that is very difficult to remove, so first treat with nitric acid and fuming sulfuric acid or chromic acid reagent. New glasses are soaked in 1% hydrochloric acid in several hours, and next soaked in tap water or detergent immediately after use. Next is, what are the following procedures for general cleaning the glass vase? After use, rinse the glass vase in running tap water and scrub with detergent 10 to 15 minutes and rinse thoroughly in tap water. And next, final rinse should be with distilled water. First rinse with tap water and scrub with detergent 10 to 15 minutes and rinse thoroughly in tap water, and finally it should be rinsed with distilled water. These are the following procedures for general washing of glass vase. And next is cleaning of pipettes. Pipettes always should be vertical position with the tips up in jar. Cleaning of solutions in order to avoid the breakage of their tips. Pad of glass wool is placed at the bottom of the jar to prevent the breakage. After soaking for several hours, the tips are drained and rinsed with tap water until small traces of cleaning solutions are removed. Small particles are removed and pipettes are then soaked in distilled water at least 1 hour. And next, the cleaning of flasks, beakers, cylinders and other glasswares. First, pour warm cleaning solution into each vessel and stopper or cover carefully. First, pour the warm cleaning solution into each glassware and stopper are covered carefully, and each glassware should be manipulated so that all portions of the wall are repeatedly brought into contact with the solution. So this procedure should be followed for at least 5 minutes. The cleaning solution can be poured from one vessel to another, so it returned to into original container. And these vessels should rinsed repeatedly with tap water for 4 times and rinsed 3 times with distilled water. First, rinsed with tap water for 4 times and rinsed with 3 times with distilled water. Then it is important that neck of volumetric flask above the graduation mark, it should be clean, because when solutions are diluted in flask container, drops of water may adhere to the unclean wall and it invalidate the measuring of value. First, pour the warm water in vessels, any type of glassware, flask, beaker, cylinders, and close with stopper or cover carefully, and it should be procedure for at least 5 minutes, and cleaning solutions are poured from one vessel to another vessel. And next, these glasswares are rinsed with first tap water 4 times and rinsed with distilled water 3 times. And next, most important, volumetrics, neck of the volumetric flask above the graduation mark, it should be clean, because when solutions are diluted in the flask, drops of water may be adherent to the unclean wall and it invalidate the measurement of value. And these are the cleaning of flask, beakers, cylinders and other glasswares. And next is the plastic vase. Still now we discussed about glass vase, now is plastic vase. These plastic vases are usually manufactured from polymers of polyethylene, polypropylene and Teflon. These plastics are chemically inert and unaffected by acid or alkali solution, and these plastic vases are durable as suitable to store alkaline solutions. These plastic solutions are used to store the alkaline solutions, and surface of the bond may be leached to the solution and absorb dyes and proteins. Next, cleaning of plastic vase. How to clean the plastic vase? After used plastic vase, it should be immediately soaked in water. If contaminated, soaked overnight in suitable disinfectant such as 0.5% sodium hypochlorite or bleach. After use, immediately soaked in water or any disinfectant such as sodium hypochlorite or bleach. Most plastic wastes best clean in warm detergent solution, followed by at least 2 rinses in clean water, and finally rinse with distilled water. And the article should be left to drain and dry naturally or dried in hot air oven. Set at temperature the plastic can be withstand. And brush or harsh abrasive cleaner should not be used on plastic ware. And stains or precipitates best removed using dilute nitric acid or 3% acid alcohol. First clean with first soaked in distilled water or disinfectant such as sodium hypochlorite or bleach, and then next clean with, or we can use warm detergent solution and rinse 2 times in clean water and finally rinse in distilled water, and dry this plastic waste in hot air oven and set the temperature. And don't use the brushes or harsh abrasive cleaner for the plastic waste. If you use stains or precipitatives, best removed using dilute solution is nitric acid or 3% acid alcohol. This is the cleaning of plastic waste. Thank you.